Viewing, so we're going to let people join and we will start in a moment or two. Thank you. Okay. I know people are still checking into the meeting, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. So welcome everybody. Thank you for attending the November 2025 STARS Employer Check-in meeting. We are looking forward to sharing the updates and keeping you informed about the STARS project as we move forward into 2026 already. Remember to check the STARS pension system webpage for information and for the recordings of these employer check-ins. There is some good information there, and it's always available on our website under employers and local boards. Today, we will cover the STARS project update and the demonstration regarding errors and warnings for contributions and demographics. All righty. So the project update for this month, STARS training. So the topics that we are going to be covering at the trainings will include the administrator functions, demographic and contribution imports and manual updates, payments, and so much more. There will be multiple sessions for each topic, so which will make it convenient for employers to work around schedules. So, we'll have multiple times that we will cover contribution imports and multiple sessions that will cover payments. And again, other topics that we have that will help employers as we move into the launch for STARS. The days of the week that we're going to be having these trainings and sessions will be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Thursday meetings are an optional review meeting and another opportunity to ask questions. We'll have it at the standard times of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And right now we're working on the finer details of all of that, but we will go ahead and show the training schedule. We'll be posting that in December on the STARS webpage. Along with the sessions, there will be recordings of each of the topics and materials for resources available on each topic. So there will be more information available, not just those training sessions, but there will be more information posted to the website. Post-launch resources and training are still being developed and planned to ensure the needs of members and employers are met after we launch STARS. Alrighty, we're moving on to today's topic for the demonstration. Let me switch over here so I can share my screen. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. I went ahead and logged into the employer self-service area because right now what we're going to do is we're moving to imports. with the imports. Whoops. Let's try it again. No. All righty. Then let me try this, and we will get moving here. Hang on. Try this again. Imports. Yay. So on the import history, what I'm going to start with is the contribution import file. So as it shows here, it's already been uploaded and validated, but it was validated with errors. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the details of the import to review the information for those individuals that were of contributions that were uploaded on the file. So as you can see on this view right here, we've got a couple of lines that are showing warnings. And as we continue to float through the pages, here's an error listed on this row and other rows with noted errors. So what we're going to do is there is the review of this information. We're going to go ahead and view it all together on the list of errors that we've got here. So errors in stars are hard stops that will prevent the file from being processed. So the employer will need to review the details of the error and update the member information before moving forward. The contribution import detail regarding errors and warnings will show the rows, the whether it's what type of it is, it's a warning or an error, and the message. And again, this detail, the message, is also provided on the errors and warnings spreadsheet that we had provided previously to employers, and that is posted on the STARS webpage. So as we're reviewing this, we'll take a look at rows 20, 21, and 22. So as we look at the information here, it does note that each row has a similar error. The member does not exist. If it's a new hire, please submit the demographic information first. Unable to determine member's contribution type, the member is probably in the 90-day election period. So what this is doing is it's noting the error on each line, because as you know, with contribution imports, there are multiple lines that are being remitted on behalf of the individual, the employee. So looking, so the employer will need to review the new employee information to see where they are in the status. Have they been updated in stars? When should the contributions start? The other nice thing about it, and I forgot to mention here, because of the name of the individual, what's nice, it is, again, it shows the row, the type of error that's being encountered, and it'll show the employee's name, which in this case, the name of the employee is new officer for purposes of this demonstration. So what it's also letting us know is that on line 23 and 20, or rows, I need to start talking rows as it is noted in this screen view here. Rows 23 and 24 also have errors, and the pay period ending is not valid. So what we're going to do is I want to go ahead and show the contribution upload file so we can take a look at rows 20, 21, and 22, where it shows the new officer and that the pay period ending and information here. So that's why it's showing each individual row and the appropriate applicable error or warning that has been occurring for that particular member. And remember, for an error, it is a hard stop. So the employer does need to review and determine what's happening with this particular individual. As we look through the report, like I said, rows 23 and 24 also are showing an error. So these two here, looking at these two rows, it is indicating that the pay period ending is not valid. Excuse me. So as we're looking at the pay period ending column, you'll note that there is a different pay period here for this individual. And so along with the error that's showing, it's also indicating for the line or the row that the pay period ending is not in current fiscal year. So in this case, it is a warning, and the warnings are exceptions, but the employer will still need to research and potentially update. So as we go to page 2, it does show for line 24 is also showing the warning that the pay period ending is not current and the member already has a contribution on record for this pay period. Again, when we're looking back at the contribution history or file, we can see that there are two lines here, the 23 and 24, show pay period ending 6/27 of 25. Well, that's not within this fiscal year, and it's not, it's a duplicate record for this individual, because if we look up here on line 3 and 4, we already have contributions for the current pay period for that individual. So what we're encountering is that something needs to happen with rows 23 and 24. And since they are not within the current regular pay period upload that's occurring with this file, that those lines will need to be actually removed and remitted as an adjustment in order for that file to be processed correctly. So you could encounter multiple items that are occurring with this, and we did show that with this demonstration that multiple errors or warnings could occur, but it's just working through each one in order to be able to discern what are my next steps. In order to be able to correct this issue that's occurring so that I can go ahead and process this contribution file correctly and get that taken care of. The nice thing about, again, the contribution version of this detail is that it will provide you with the rows, the type of error or warning, and the member's name will also be noted in that line so that you can see that while there may be multiple lines of errors that are occurring, there is also, it's just for that one individual because there are multiple lines of contributions that are noted depending upon the contribution code. So it's just working through that in order to get that updated so that the file can be uploaded and processed. So again, we're just covering examples of the errors and warnings today in this contribution file. So, and this is just a sample of the errors and warnings. And again, you can review the spreadsheet regarding contribution errors and warnings, and that is on our website, and you can get more information looking at that data. Now, the nice thing too is that there is an export error list, so you can go ahead and print that. And if need be, you can work outside of stars in order to determine what's going on. And then you can use that report to note what your status is on it, what you're going to be doing with that file, what needs to be completed with that individual. I was using that report when I was testing all your files because I would run into various errors and warnings that I needed to take a look at back in the early days so I can make sure that it was formatted correctly, but it did provide me with that tool and like it will for you in order to be able to review this information and make the necessary adjustments. And now I'm going to go back to imports because we're going to go ahead and take a look at the demographic file. So on the demographic file that has been imported and validated, again, it's validated with errors. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this information. Whoops. Probably my mouse. Nope. Here was giving me a bit of a challenge earlier, so, oh, okay. Well, let me click on, try this again. Sorry about that. I know that there are errors there and warnings. I already looked at it today and it's being particularly challenging. So hang on, bear with me. Okay. Said I know it is there, the information is, but I want to make sure we can view it. I knew it was there. So again, with the import summary, we can tell it is a demographic file. It is validated with errors. So what we're going to do is here list the just some basic information here to note that there is an error on each error warning on each one of these lines. So we're going to take a look at the data a bit more closely. We're going to go here to view errors. And in the contribution, or in the, sorry, the demographic upload, let me get that file. So we have that handy. We've got an error in line 1. And again, the information provided in the demographic report and detail error is line by line. Because there is only one line for the per employee in this file. So it may repeat that there is, and the row that there may be problems with may repeat, but it'll still be, that's why it doesn't note the member's name here because it is just one line per data per employee. So when we're, the first error we're encountering in the list here is the email is required when the status code is H or AL. So H is hired. AL is the employer code for the ASRS legacy. So when we're looking at the file that was uploaded, we've got new police officer, the SOCH, the date of birth, address, that there's the status hired in that field. There is the date that the member was hired. And I needed to actually take a look at the demographic spec document because I could not remember where the email address went. So the email address actually goes right here in this space G. And since it is blank, that's why we're encountering the error in the file upload that says the email is required. So it's just updating that information on the record so that it can be processed correctly. The second error that's listed here is the missing effective date for the status. And again, what we're looking at is the second line of data. We've got the status of Q, which is quit, but we do not have a date in column P. So we'll need to update that information in order for that error to go away. And then in line 3, the effective date is reported without a status. So we're looking at this data here. We've got the date noted in the field, but we have no status. And again, those two cells, they go hand in hand. If there is information in one, there has to be information in the other. And again, if you need that reference, there is the demographic specification document, which has that information listed there. And then warning that occurred was for line 1, letting us know that this is a new member because the information notes that it's hired in this first error and that the email is required. And again, there is the export error list that can be printed in order to work on that solutions on those issues that pop up. So you don't have to stay in stars. You can go out of stars, do that research, come back in if you need to, which is nice. And again, that report came in handy when I was reviewing and testing the demographic files for those employers that did remit that information to us. Okay, let's see here. So that is a quick look at how you will encounter those errors and warnings with the contribution file or the demographic file. And again, the resources that you can review are on the STARS webpage. At the very bottom of the page, there is a list of stop sharing so we can get back to the other screen. And there's a list of the resources on that STARS pension administration webpage. So you can view the resources there. They have the specification documents for both contributions and demographics and the errors and warnings for each one. And our next demonstration will be regarding demographics. So that'll be in December. The meeting again will be on the third Wednesday of the month. So it'll be on December 17th at 1 p.m. And we will cover that subject at that time. And if you do need to view this information, it will be recorded and placed on the STARS webpage here shortly. So you can take a look at that if you want to review that information regarding errors and warnings. So that is it. Do we have any questions today that we can help with?
Joanne, there is a question that came in on the chat. The question is, will an error populate for missing contributions? We didn't see that as an option in the example file.
Yes. So if the member is in stars, contributions there will be expected. So it will indicate if there is, let me take a look at that. Contribution. It will indicate that it's missing. I can't remember exactly how it shows it, but it does show that there is it shows that there is a member, but and it's expecting contributions, but there's nothing on the upload. So it will let you know, and it will give the member that it's expecting the contributions for. Are there any other questions we can help with?
I'm just taking one more look at the chat and not seeing any other chat questions coming through, Joanne.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining. And again, a review of that errors and warnings spreadsheet for both demographics and contributions is always a good thing. And so if you have any questions you think of after this, don't forget you can reach out to Harold or myself, and we can certainly help you with the information and get you some answers. So anyway, I hope you join us next month for demographics, and have a great holiday, everybody, and we will talk to you next time. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.